Can we talk about how crazy things got when Wreck-It Ralph came out? The year was 2012, and when people saw the trailer for the idea of a video game animated movie with all the classic arcade characters we know and love, everyone said the same thing. Where the hell is Mario?
Where are they?
Killing is making a choice.
Where are they?
Choose between one life or the other. Your friend, the district attorney, or his blushing bride-to-be.
And well, we didn't get Mario, we got Sonic and Bowser. But I remember at the time, no one had faith that this movie was gonna be good. Video games at the time had a really bad rep. They just tend to have a shed load of Easter eggs and silly game humor. And to be fair, in this film, there is a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of silly game humor. But by God, does it work. Hi there, it's me, the Average Critic. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more great content on all things animation. And let's talk about Wreck-It Ralph, Disney's dark horse. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long damn time. There are so many videos online talking about this film ever since it came out, and you can dissect this movie in a million different ways. But Wreck-It Ralph had such a huge impact at the time. Pixar had released Cars 2 and Brave, two films that were massively under par when it came to Pixar, and so animation seemed like it was in a rut. And as I said, people saw the trailers and they were skeptical. As we know, video game movies don't tend to be received well, and while this film isn't based on any specific IP, it still had the idea of just another film filled with crummy jokes and Easter eggs. But lo and behold, how different the film was when it came out. Yes, there are Easter eggs in this film, but it doesn't rely on those jokes all the time. And it uses those Easter eggs to actually heighten the movie. When you see Zangief at the start of the movie, he isn't just there as a visual Easter egg, but actually gives Ralph some genuine advice. When Sonic gives his very brief appearance, he is giving some valuable exposition for the world we're in. No Easter egg feels forced or blink and you will miss it. They're an important part of the film and the world building. Which is something else this film does obviously incredibly well, is making the world feel real and have its own rules and physics. Making the extension cable look like a train station, having tappers be the game's resident bar, all these small things feel real and connect us to our world. The film took massive inspirations from games we know, Fix-It Felix being incredibly inspired by Mario, Hero's Duty being obviously a mix of Halo and Call of Duty, and Sugar Rush clearly being inspired by games like Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing. Which, by the way, I'm still waiting on a Sugar Rush game.
Just do it!
But everything feels authentic with the designs of the games they made up for the film, which is probably where the film stops being one big Easter egg. It would have been so easy for them to write the story for Ralph to visit other well-known video game worlds, but instead they chose to keep most of the story set in Sugar Rush. Something that makes the film so good is it's so close to being another gimmick film. Even the jokes are so close to the line of not being funny. Characters like Vanellope being voiced by Sarah Silverman is a bold choice, and even for most of the cast. John C. Reilly and Jack McBrayer are actors with very specific voices and styles, and it's so on the nose and specific to the way they speak and the humor they have. But luckily, it works incredibly well because it's so close to being bad. But obviously, it's not. It's almost what makes it so good, because they nail the cast list incredibly well. The film never plays it safe and commits to its humor, and even for those who aren't perhaps a fan of these actors, especially someone like Sarah Silverman, they can't deny that she is amazing in this film. But with it being so close to being a gimmick movie with annoying characters and stereotypes, it actually improves the film vastly. One thing that stops these larger-than-life characters from being annoying is that Ralph is played incredibly straight. Despite John C. Reilly being a big comedic actor, he plays the role incredibly straight and serious. So when things are over the top, he reacts in a normal way, showing the audience that just how exaggerated some of these characters are. So not only do the jokes work, but the film takes you on an emotional roller coaster. The opening scene of all the bad guys in a room and Ralph just wanting a different life for himself, Ralph destroying the car they made together, the beautiful moments of acceptance for Ralph as he punches the Mentos, and of course the wonderful acceptance of Ralph knowing his friend likes him. Take your pick. The film has countless beautiful and tender moments, like I said, and considering it's a film about video games and it's filled to the brim with Easter eggs, it didn't need to go that far. But I adore this film's emotional moments as it takes the film into the stratosphere of being such a wonderful emotional movie. The idea of acceptance and loving yourself for who you are. Ralph repeating the bad guy oath circles his whole arc beautifully. He doesn't allow his title to label him as a bad person. He's a bad guy, but he's not a bad person. He accepts himself for who he is. The film easily could have been a fun buddy comedy movie. You can tell they wrote this film as being a fun comedy movie, and of course, the jokes are written incredibly well, and they could have stopped there and it would have still been a success, but they chose to write a film with heart and depth, because without all the amazing emotional moments, the film would still be good, but by heightening those moments, it really makes you remember the movie even more. You came for the laughs, but you stayed for its heartfelt message. Some films are naturally funny, and some films are naturally sad. And when writing a comedy, you aren't usually thinking about making your film as emotional as it is. But I love that they decided to make this film with such a wonderful message, and especially in such a fun and unique way. And so, the only thing left to do is to say that this is one dynamite film. Dynamite film. Dynamite film. Dynamite film. But Wreck-It Ralph does something not a lot of animation films do, which is chooses to go the extra mile within its story. They could have easily just kept it as a comedy and it still would have been great. But it chose to make it more. It chose to make a film about being true to yourself and not labeling yourself. I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me. So after all that, it gets my professional rating of 9 out of 10. And my personal rating of 9 out of 10 as well. I truly think this is one of Disney's best, especially in terms of the more modern day films that they have made. But Wreck-It Ralph is easily probably one of my favourite of the modern day Disney films. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of Wreck-It Ralph. If you like this video, you can subscribe as I do weekly content on all things animation. I'm usually putting up polls as well, so you can have your say on what film I review next as well, as Wreck-It Ralph obviously won this round. And make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms as well. But thank you so much for watching me guys, and I will see you all in the next one.